So as entrepreneurs, before we create anything out in the world, any product, service, business, first we have to create it in our mind. We have to see it in our mind's eye before we actually make it happen. And there's always evolutions and things shift and things change. But the reality is first we have to conceive of it before we actually create it out in the world. And as such, inspiration is a super important thing for entrepreneurs. Now that might sound like a really soft topic, a soft fuzzy thing. Like, who cares about inspiration? Tell me how to sell something, tell me how to market it. But inspiration is absolutely critical for every one of us. And I think of the times where I have, where I've been inspired. One of the times that I remember the best was when I was actually at one of my very, very first events. When I was it was a marketing seminar that I went to. And this was back in 2001. So it was a long time ago, but this is just indelibly seared in my mind. Because at that point, I had a business that was doing, I was making over six figures. So I was making somewhere $100,000. It might even have been $200,000 by that time. And I was really proud of myself. There weren't very many businesses, online businesses around that were bringing in that kind of revenue at that time. And frankly, it was way more than I could have ever dreamed. In fact, the biggest dream I had when I started my business was possibly someday getting to $100,000 income. That was the biggest I could think. When I sat down and I put together my goals when I first started my business, I'm like, what would be the ultimate goal? And it was an income of $100,000, because at that point my income was way, way, way less than that. And I didn't know anyone that had that kind of an income. So I thought that'd be amazing. So I went to this marketing seminar feeling pretty self-assured. That I had built this business in a matter of a few years, 4 or 5 years to get to that point. And I was pretty proud of myself, but I went there to learn. And I remember that they had a buffet, a little lunch. They had the buffet where they had all the different food out, and you went in a line and you picked up the various, you got your salad, you got your chicken, you got whatever. Remember those days pre-COVID when you could go through a line and use the same spoons to serve yourself as other people and be elbow to elbow with people. And so anyways, I'm in this line, and there's a line to get to the food, and I'm moving through this line, and I got to talking to the person next to me, which is a good thing. You go to a seminar, it's great to meet people. I'm an introvert, but I get that one of the best things you can do at a seminar is network, is meet other people, is make friends. So I'm going through this buffet line, and I get to talk to the person next to me. He talks a little about his business, and we're sharing. And he asked me about my business. He asked me about the size of it. And I said, well, we're at whatever, $150,000 a year. I was pretty proud of myself. And he's like, he congratulated me. He asked me more questions about the business. He said, that sounds great. That sounds amazing. And then I asked him about his business, and he casually mentioned that in his business, they were doing $100,000 also. The difference was he was doing $100,000 per month. He's doing $100,000 per. I was happy to do $100,000 per year, and he was doing $100,000 per month. And my mind exploded. I mean, just the idea that someone could do that was beyond anything. It was beyond my ability to conceive of that. That before I had that conversation with him, I wouldn't have thought that someone in a little small internet-based business could make $100,000 a month in sales. And of course, this is way back. Like I said, this is 2001, so times have changed. Lots and lots and lots of people have much, much bigger businesses, but back in those days, things were much smaller. And my thinking was much smaller. But as I'm going through the line, he's sitting there with that. He's right next to me. He's living, he's taking his green beans and putting them on his plate, just like I'm taking green beans and putting them on my plate. He's taking the chicken and putting it on his plate. And the thought was like, if he could do it, then maybe at some point I could do it. That was the first idea, the first conception that I could possibly have a business that did $1 million a year or more. And once I saw that, that was one of those, once that genie comes out of the bottle, there's no going back in. And I'm not saying that the answer for everyone or the answer for you is to go and build $1 million business, because there's definitely work involved, there's effort involved. You're going to have to continually work on your inner game, on your mental game. You're going to have to work on your marketing skills. You're going to have to work on your networking skills. You're going to have to surround yourself with the army, surround yourself with the tribe, with the crew that can help take you there. You're probably going to have to start building a team to get to that level. So it's not for everyone. But the bigger point is that to get where you're going, where you want to go, you have to surround yourself with the people that are going there and the people that are already there. Because, we're all just making this stuff up. We're all just having those thoughts in our head that we're trying to then create out in the world. Some people would say manifest out into the world. And you can't do it alone. I don't know anyone that has ever done it alone. And I don't know anyone that's ever done it without inspiration and without role models. And because that was just the first of my brain exploding. There were many, many, many more times along this journey. And of course, my business is many, many, many times bigger than, even the person next to me or what I ever could have dreamed of. I could never have dreamed that I would be here, but I'm here because yeah, I've worked hard and maybe I got a little bit of skill, a little bit of talent. I've studied hard, but I've surrounded myself with people that continually inspire me. They continually push me. They can see a bigger future for me than I can see for myself. And I would suggest that you do the same. And I also think, the idea, so most of my big breakthroughs in this area have come from when I've been at live events. I've shot many videos over the years telling you about why I think live events are so powerful. Because of the learning, because of the community and the connection, because of the inspiration, because of the people you meet, because of the people that will help pull you up there, the connections you'll make, the inspiration, and so I've been beating that drum for at least a decade of why you should get to live events. The crazy thing now is so many live events have shifted to virtual. And it's so much easier to attend them. I've got my PLF Live coming up in about a month when you see this, or maybe even a little less than a month when you'll see this video. And I've been doing this for 10 years. It was always in person. You always had to get on a plane and travel across the country, across the world to come. And thousands of people did, and it was amazing, and I loved it. But of course, with the whole pandemic thing, we shifted to online, and so next month we're going to be doing it online. So you can attend from anywhere you want in the world. This is almost surely, there are great things about virtual, and you get all those same experiences of the inspiration, of the networking, of meeting people, of the learning, of the doing. You get all those benefits virtually, but I will admit that I am a fan of in-person. And so hopefully this will be my last ever virtual event, and by next year we'll be back to being in person. But for right now, if you want to come on out, I'll put a link down, or not even come on out. If you want to attend from the comfort of your home or your office or wherever you have an internet connection, I'll put a link down below this video so you can go check it out. I'm doing a lot of things I've never ever done before with PLF Live. It's going to be super, super cool. And it's going to be way more accessible than it's ever been. But yeah, getting to live events in my opinion, that's what, I don't know where I would be. I literally don't know where I would be, but I'm willing to bet my business would be 1/100th, literally 1/100th the size it is now if I hadn't regularly gone out to live events. So PLF Live, in my opinion, is one of the absolute best. Like I said, I'll put a link down below, but no matter what, no one does it alone. You need people to pull you up. And so get out there, get to events, make those connections, and truly get in the game so other people can pull you up along with them while you pull others up as well. So I'm Jeff Walker. Wherever you're watching this, scroll down, leave a comment for me, and let's go get them this week.